Hi everyone. Ryan asked me to do this quick video about, I guess, my life, what led me up to my sobriety, what it was like, and just a little description about me. My name is Travis, Travis Vu. I am 38 years old. I grew up in a small town just outside Winnipeg, Pine Falls, Manitoba. Um, Yeah, my parents divorced when I was 5 years old. I have an older brother who's 6 years older than me, and so at 5 years old, I was confused. There was a new guy that came into our life right away. I didn't understand what was going on. My brother acted out, so I followed him. He was my go-to guy. Like I felt safe with my brother, so I followed in his footsteps, and he was a badass. He was a fighter. Uh, Acted out in anger, acted out in. He was a troublemaker, and I love that, So that's where my addiction started really young, as for isolating, not feeling a part of, and just yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna start off with at 12 years old, I got into marijuana. I found my comfort zone with marijuana and alcohol at an early age. My brother smoked my first joint with me at 12. Um, and then I just took it to a whole different level. He was a weekly user occasionally, and I brought it to a whole different level at 13, where I was smoking every day. It made me feel powerful because I had my own bag constantly, all the time. I would be that person who would write checks on my mom's account, bike to, like we just lived outside Pine Falls, so bike 13 kilometers to cash a $20 check to get a gram. That's where it started, and so I had enabling parents as well. My parents were divorced, and they bought their love with. They bought me their love. So I was a very spoilt, um, arrogant asshole as a kid. That's just yeah. It wasn't good for them either. Like I was an asshole. Um, so that continued on through I guess my teens. I dropped out of school when I was 18, 17, 18. Constantly getting kicked out, dropping out, and I always had something else better to do, um, which I didn't. I just smoked dope and skateboard. Um, then I got hooked up with this girl. We met in where I used to work. I used to be a cook out in Pine Falls, and um, yeah, turns out she ended up pregnant. Um, and yeah, so I have a beautiful daughter who's now 16, which I don't have any part of her life because of my choice of drugs. And I just didn't want to accept the fact that I didn't want to take responsibility. And all my life I did that, just with in and out of drugs, and it was easy for me because I didn't have to accept responsibility. I can just get on the system, lie, use, manipulate, all that stuff, and it just I hurt because I was missing her, and I was missing her because of my actions, which led to more guilt and shame, which led to more drugs. Yeah, so she's 16 now. She's beautiful, and she's with her mom, and she's doing really well. And I still don't have no part of her, but I'm doing this sobriety kick for obviously me, and eventually maybe she will want to come back in my life. Maybe she won't. I don't know. I wrote her a letter, and that's all I can do. I can just keep working on myself, and just keep doing the next right action, right? Shortly after that, found out she was pregnant. I tried crack cocaine for the first time at 21, and oh wow, that was that was mind blowing. Freedom. It was this rush that it's like no other, no other. Um, yeah, so I've been in and out of like rehabs, detoxes, all my life for since 21, 22 was actually my first time in treatment, and I went to AFM the first time, and I've been on and off, province after province, drug after drug, up until 34. I lived out in Edmonton for a couple of years and got back on drugs. Moved out to BC, got onto heroin for a year, and it's just been. I always kept going back into detox because I knew I was better than this, and I knew I had some talents. Uh, I knew there was something more to life than just living an empty life. um, yeah, it wasn't until 34 I came back from BC, got into a rehab, and then immediately I got my own place through Manitoba Housing through some lie, some manipulation of the men's resource, and they fast tracked me into Manitoba Housing, which led to probably the greatest experience of my life because I got to try meth. It was a whole different drug that I wanted from crack cocaine. Because for like 10 years of smoking crack, I was so paranoid, so scared. But I loved it because that's an adrenaline rush in itself of feeling like your door's gonna get kicked in. Not to mention the dopamine level of the crack. So that's two highs you're getting, So that's what kept me smoking crack that whole time. But it was also paranoia. It's in an awful place, And then I tried meth intravenously. It was what I wanted from crack cocaine for so many years. I could talk to people. I could go out. I wasn't scared. I could keep it up for days, and it's just multiple partners and time. It's just in my head that sounded like a great thing. It was like, oh, awesome, man. This is a drug, and then it so quickly turned sideways, fast. The paranoid schizophrenic delusions. Hearing voices, and there's a couple times I've been without meth, like very few because it's so cheap, and I was always I'm a very good liar, conner, manipulator, and a player, and so I've always had money, I always had drugs. Anytime you see me biking around or loneliness or like being alone in the like all ends of the city, man, I always had dope. Always. But I was alone, It wasn't until May 28th, 2015, actually at that Manitoba Housing, where I decided to like enough was enough. I barricaded my place. I barricaded myself in my room, cracked open the window, and tied up bed sheets. I don't know if you ever seen the movie The Hangover, but when they're hanging out of the hotel room and like 5 bed sheets. Well, that's what I was like. I was like on the 5th floor, and I tied up all these bed sheets. So if I would have made it actually down, it. If I would have made it actually down, I would have been safe. But stupid me, like I wasn't. What I was tied off onto, like on the floor, wasn't secure, wasn't tied off to the ground. So after everything was done, like there was cops at my place. There was SWAT outside. They were trying to get in. They couldn't get in because I had it so barricaded, and they made me more paranoid than the actual people that I thought were coming through the walls. It's crazy, man. That stuff is awful, and yeah, so like enough was enough. I tried rappelling down the bed sheets, and I didn't realize it wasn't secured to the ground. So when I rappelled, it came up, and I fell 5 stories, boom, right on the ground. 5 stories is pretty high. That's minimum 50 feet. I'm lucky to be alive. Never mind walking. And so I was hospitalized for 2 months in a wheelchair. Uh, um, I quit the meth instantly, you know. But then I got hooked on Dilaudid, the pain prescription pills, and when they sent me out after a month of lying in the like in the hospital, I became hooked on Dilaudid again because I was hooked on heroin, so I knew how to bang it, and yeah, I just knew like being in a wheelchair and actually being homeless too because I got kicked out of the Manitoba housing after that. That's when my low point really kicked in, you know, and uh, uh, that's the beginning of the end for me, you know. Being homeless in a wheelchair, can barely walk, on both drugs now, you know. I was using the meth to get off of the Dilaudid, which it worked, you know, but then I became addicted to meth again. And that's when my low point really kicked in. You know, I was all alone. All my marks were exhausted from my bullshit lies. You know, and yeah, it was a really ugly place, man. And so I sat in that pain, that loneliness, that paranoia for almost about a year and a half, 2 years. You know. Um, and finally something just clicked in, you know. I was like, I can't do this no more, man. I knew there was a part of me that was still part of me that was still knowing that I'm better than this and I can get out. I just need to I never gave myself a chance, man. So my last use of was last my last use was August 5th, uh 2000 and no, sorry, September 5th, 2007. Or 2000, ugh, September 5th, 2018. So like literally almost 8 months ago. Um, yeah, I got high and I was so sick of being alone, paranoid, scared. I wanted to see my family because I missed my grandma's 90th birthday, and I wanted to go see her. So I got high. I did a shot of some jib, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go bike out to Pine Falls and see my family, because my family really wanted to see me all 138 pounds, stinking, smelling like shit. But I wanted to see them. You know, I love them and I miss them, and I missed a lot of family because of my drugs, my drug use. You know, I missed so much. Been through a lot of deaths, and I just did drugs to numb it, not to and to avoid. You know. So I ended up making the journey from 6:30. My last shot was 6:30. Ended up making it to Pine Falls around 5:30, quarter to 6 in the morning. What a like! I remember getting to South Creek and like, holy crap, man, this is gonna be a far ride. But you know what? I did it. You know, and I had a I wanted to not feel pain. I wanted to be with people I loved, man, and you know, and so it was a long, crazy ride, man. Like I fell asleep on my bike at least fucking 15 times. Ended up in the ditch 15 times, you know. And I'm not, and I'm that's no lie. I'm sleep riding, and this is like I don't know, between let's say 2:30 and 6 o'clock in the morning. Stead is field and it's bush, you know, and the coyotes were out, and that's what really drove my fight or flight, I guess you want to say, into gear. It gave me adrenaline because the coyotes were zoning in on me. I'm not. This is no joke, man. And yeah, so thankfully, by the grace of God, I don't know what kept me alive on that ride, man, but something else was guiding me, and that was my last use, which is really weird. My clean date is actually my daughter's birthday, which is September 6th, you know, 2002. Um, but yeah, so I spent some time with my mom 2 days out there. I got into detox. Um, I got into AFM out in St. Rose. I've been there a few times, so I know the women out there, and is changed my life. You know, those steps I know how to do. You know, I could do that blindfolded. You know, and once I got into detox. I know all the steps I need to do, like to get into a rehab, to get into a recovery house. All the shit takes time, right? And which I'm a planner, and I did it, you know, and I'm grateful for my choice. I'm grateful for my mom's friend Donna who gave me a ride back to Winnipeg to get into detox, and um, yeah. So I went to React for 3 months. Tim Fletcher is an amazing guy, man. Like he has helped me through so much when I was in Tamarack, and you know, the React program. It all pieced all the pieces together that, you know, that were still unclear for me, like why my stepfather was the way I am, why I had so much guilt and shame towards this, all that stuff, you know. And that's what you need to get sober, is to figure out all that stuff, accept your past, and know who you are, and just keep being and keep moving forward, you know, one day at a time. And even if I don't do anything and I still stay sober for the day, that is a success to me, you know. And what I do right now, I'm actually I I wake up. My life is very routine, very healthy, busy, and I don't stray far from the routine, you know. And so it keeps me grounded, keeps me sane, keeps me sober, you know. I wake up every morning. I go for a 5 mile run. Right now I'm running at the Y because I don't like riding in winter and I don't like heavily dressed. So, but 5 miles minimum every morning. That's I've been sober for like over 200 days now. I haven't missed one day yet. You know. Um, I keep busy. I was in the rack program. Now I'm in college. I'm taking baking and patisserie at Red River. That's you know, I had a passion for cooking. In and out of recovery and in and out of the years, I've always had jobs occasionally, all over the province, all over actually Canada. You know, I've been to all over the place. I lived in every west coast anyway. um, Running is a huge part of my health, my sanity, my mental health, my emotional health, and my spiritual health, you know. I I'm in college full time. I do my weight training at night. I run in the morning. I do weights at night, and I love that. It's a passion of mine, and I love working out, man. It's such a stress reliever, and I feel good about looking good, you know. And I think that's what what kept me in and out of addiction for so long, because I was so egotistical, so self-involved, you know. Get a six-pack, get tan, get a chick, get laid, and well, that's recovery. It's not recovery, man. It kept me sick, man. So this time is different, you know. I am so grateful for this pay it forward, man. Like the hard work I'm putting into myself, into other people, and to what I'm doing with myself is really paying off. I don't feel like I deserve it, but at the same time, there's a part of me that says, okay, you know what? You do deserve it. You're doing a lot of hard work, and you're being selfless, you know. Um, so that's little about my story. There's millions of war stories I could talk about, but I am so grateful for Pay It Forward, Ryan, and Main Street Project for giving me this opportunity. You know, life is great these days, man. Just never give up. Don't sell yourself short. Sell yourself short and believe in yourself. You know. So yeah. Thank you, Ryan, and I hope this helps someone. If I can help one person, I'm happy. So, thank you guys. You guys, I'm I don't know, forever grateful. Thank you.